Welcome, everyone, to the Infinite Star Connections, where we give the star nations a voice and cosmic intelligence on an inspiring level. We are your hosts. I am Vivienne Chauvet and my dear friend Jeff Demers. But today, on this beautiful day of celebration of the Divine Masculine here in the United States and Canada, it's Father's Day. So we want to welcome back one of our ultimate favorites of all times, Derrell Stokes. We want to thank you so much for being here. It's going to be a very uplifting, positive, of the heart. We're going to explore the realms of the orbs, elementals, fairy, and they're all as if you are very high beings of light. I can feel your energy. You're a high dimensional being, very well versed with incredible, most outstanding collection of orbs pictures. Some of them coming from China. I've seen it with my own eyes. And you are also a very gifted healer, and I know you're expanding your repertoire quite a bit right now, and you are an expert by decoding the celestial realm with astrology and the planetary alignment. I want to talk about the five rare planetary alignment going on right now with the summer solstice. Let's dive. I want to welcome you, my friend. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely.
and happy Father's Day to all those single moms out there too, because they do double duty.
Oh, very well said. It's a
Yeah,
celebration of
right.
divine masculine in that sense. Every parent would take care of their children, family members, even taking care of friends. So
Mhm.
it's definitely a celebration. We want to welcome your energy because every time you come, Daryl, it's just a celebration. It's a celebration of life. It's a celebration of the light. It's we're going to have a very uplifting episode today, and I couldn't wait for Sunday to this moment. Here we are together, and I think
Likewise.
yes, welcome back. It was wonderful to see you last weekend in Sedona at the 5D Phoenix Rising conference, where we spent some time together. That was also incredible.
Yeah, I get goosebumps. Someone keeps touching my crown.
Oh, there's a lot of energy. I asked the beings of light, the masters, to come. It's all about sharing, and I want to welcome everyone joining us from Glastonbury to Cape Town in South Africa. We have people from Canada. We have people also from Switzerland. Of course, all across beautiful United States and beyond. Welcome everyone joining us. We are always thrilled to have you. Now, if you haven't heard Darrell speak with us before here on the Infinite Star Connections, well, you are in for a treat. And if you have heard him before, you are still in for a treat because it's going to be very uplifting. And also welcome from people from Berlin, Germany. We're really happy to have you.
Nice.
Yes. Allow the beautiful people who knows you are going to explore more and learn about you, just a little bit more about yourself, Darrell, and how much. Let us know how gifted you are. Let's explore.
The I I wanted to be able to hear my higher self and my guides better than what I was doing because clearly I was not listening. So the part of that loving plan when you don't listen is spirit has a way of helping put you back on the yellow brick road when you decide to go off track. And what I found was whenever you feel or find that you're lost, that's exactly where you're meant to be at that time frame. It has been well over a decade now, since finding myself here in Sedona and coming into acceptance, of the divine purpose or fulfilling that contract that my soul came here to do. And slowly but surely starting to connect with the higher self a bit more, being able to hear it and listen to it and trust it and follow through with it has been incredibly profound over the past 10 years. And just being able to be open to it. When you ask what's your purpose, what are you here for, and I was lovingly shared to be a bridge and a connector, and I didn't quite understand what that meant at the time. And we have these connections with these higher dimensions and inner multi-dimensional beings around us, and they're able to coexist on multiple planes at the same time. And what I come to discover is a lot of them, they're family just like we are, soul family, cosmic family, universal family, but they all seem to interact with one another, whether it be from the angelic realm, the star beings, cosmically, um, elementals, interdimensional beings, Sasquatch, all these various different, call them tribes, if you will. And they all interact. And for the ones, however how comfortable you are, is the ones that are going to reach out to interact with you. If someone's comfortable interacting with the angelic realm, then they're going to be receiving a lot more messages and signs from the angelic realm, light rays, light beings, light orbs. If they're more comfortable with Sasquatch, then they're going to experience different things that Sasquatch would communicate, the knocks, the leaving of the gifts, the howls and whatnot. um, and then of course from the elementals, they'll show up in a multitude of ways, whether the wind fairies, the sylphs, or the undines, or the leprechauns and gnomes, or the salamanders, fire, they'll show up in various ways. And if you're open to them, they'll connect with you. If you're wanting to connect with them and you're asking and you set the intention, then they'll um, start to interact with you. And all they need is your permission, and for you to set the intention. We all have these gifts, that we've had since before we came here, and here it is activating. A lot of our soul family finds is like it's little that time to step forward. Even those who have I have procrastinated to put it off, and it's like you can't really fight it anymore. You can attempt to fight it, but it just the resistance is futile. Resistance is futile. You will follow through on what you're called to do, at some way, some point. And here we all are, connecting, and literally as we continue to help each other to overcome the obstacles and challenges that have been placed in our karmic cosmic lives. We're eternal souls having a human experience, and it's something, because we are in these fleshy 3D bodies, and yet we're way more, than this, than this, and having that connection like that, um, as they said, we are you and you are us. And well, how deep does that go? And it's like, well, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? Um, it's amazing. The last weekend, I don't stargaze too often, and allowed myself to be outside during last weekend and saw, oh my goodness, saw 4 ships and 6 shooting stars. Which is like, it's awesome. And literally just taking the time to be out there and to reconnect, which is what they've been sharing. Time to return back to the basics. Reconnecting with nature, um, reconnecting with your loved ones, reconnecting with yourself, and allowing that healing to take place. My goodness, they say that we're beings of light. So you imagine that beings of light in a 3D density that's been holding on to all this emotional baggage. My goodness, you start to release the emotional baggage, and the next thing you know, you start to become a whole lot lighter, a whole lot brighter too. Which it's allowing yourself to have forgiveness of yourself and others, and allowing your heart to actually be mended, because a lot of us have broken hearts, and you're not quite able to tap into your full potential until your heart's mended. There's a reason why it's the 4th chakra, right? You got the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, which are the lower chakras on the Earth star, and then you've got the heart, and then the throat, the third eye, the crown, and the stellar gateway. And of course, the heart is the mediator. It's the mediator. So the heart if the heart's not functioning properly, if it's been closed off, shut down, how can it receive? How can it receive? We're beings of light. So how can we receive if it's shut off? So here we are helping each other to mend that and assist in helping that to come together. And boy, it definitely feels like it's time. It's time now. And we all have amazing gifts, whether it's through our what we see, what we hear, what we say, what we feel, what we know, and allowing ourselves to know that it's not us. We're just the emissaries. That it comes through, and that it comes through. The I love to learn, and it's still every day is a new experience. And there are times when spirit is always on 24/7. It never goes off. It's funny. We can disconnect from spirit, but spirit never disconnects from us. And
Mm.
when we're ready to hear it or to connect with it or sense it or feel it or see it, it shows, especially when we ask. That's the thing. When you set your intentions for, like, I want to be able to communicate with you stronger or clearer, and see you. Now, when they show up, if you ask them to show up, and then you get that ping to go outside, and you go outside and you look up and like, what is that? Oh, fizzle, what is that? And it's them showing themselves. And then, of course, nope, that's too much. And then they run back in. But it's that frequency, these beings are at such a high vibrational frequency. They don't do fear, and they don't do low vibe. So if you're low vibrant in fear, guess what? You're not going to connect with them. How can you? Not on the same frequency. If you're coming from their heart, if you're open, my goodness, there's so much more that they can reveal and share with you. And I just wanted to be able to help others to acknowledge and know that these beings have been here the whole time. My goodness, how many millennia, or eons has it been? You go to the sacred sites or the ley line grids, and of course the energy's strong there, and we're more in tune with it there. So of course naturally it's like a high definition antenna. You get a better signal there, as opposed to being in a lower state of frequency or in fear, where if it presents itself, you freak out and shut it down. And they want to help us to mend our broken hearts just as much as a higher self does, because literally what is the love is the answer. My goodness, unconditional universal love, hello. Yeah. To be able to have that in the here and now, in every waking moment, that's an interesting tall task, because they're like, be present in what you say and do in the real time. Be present in what you say and do in the real time. So if you get caught up in your emotions, are you able to acknowledge it, to recognize it, and to back up and acknowledge how you feel at that time frame, so that you can be at peace with that? I mean, my goodness, our emotions are like water, they ebb and flow, and they're part of that beautiful connection. So that helps us with spirit to acknowledge what feels right and what doesn't. My intuition has always been my strongest gift. And that clairsentient feeling, the intuitive feeling, boy, you put those two together, that intuitively you feel and everybody has it, and I wanted to, help develop the other gifts. So I asked, how do I help hear you better? How do I help see you better? And they were like, the ones, be more high vibe, be around loving people, environments, animals, situations that assist you in being that frequency. Be out in nature more. You're going to see far more signs out in nature than you are indoors, because hello, spirit is out in nature. So, whether it's in daytime or nighttime, at nighttime, you're looking at the stars in the cosmos. Guess what? Our star brethren are going to be interacting. If you're out in the woods, out in the forest, our, woodland loved ones are going to be interacting. If you're around the water, or the meadows or whatnot, our loved ones are going to be interacting. If you're in, these sacred or places that have a lot of energy, Glastonbury, Stonehenge, Shasta, Sedona, they're going to interact with you. If you're near the portals and the gateways, hello, you're either a gatekeeper or you have the codes, to assist, and someone will be visiting you at some point. And I've just finally allowed myself to come into peace, knowing that I have a purpose to share, helping others to connect if they're open to that. I absolutely do not try to push my stuff on anybody. It's not even my stuff. If I hear grab your camera and go outside, then I do it. And usually I'm quite amazed at what comes through. Scientifically, can't have one without the other, but my goodness, there's some things the science just cannot explain. The supernatural and the paranormal, and the mystic stuff. Yeah, you can attempt to debunk it or explain it, but there are just some things that no answer, and which is great, because science can explain a lot of things, but boy, when it comes to spirit and gifts of spirit, we already know that there's far more than has been shared. And even now, there's a lot of disclosure going on about things that we were told that's not real, that doesn't exist, and there's no way that is possible. And yet, they're definitely showing it now. So that feels great. Especially when you've been labeled crazy, because you hear things, feel things, see things. Hey, look at there, the wind just picked up. Right on. So
You're funny, Derrell.
it's always here with you in the real time. And I'm very, I'm very spiritual. I absolutely believe in a higher source, a higher power. Absolutely. And my goodness, it was that higher power that helped and assisted me in being able to, to be open to more. The archangels are very prevalent in helping me to comfortably interact. Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, Raphael, Ramiel, Raziel, the whole bunch of them. And knowing that Raphael's like, hey, you're meant to be assisting in healing. How? I still need to heal me. So to heal others, that's a tall order. And yet, I absolutely love being able to work on people. Energy work, Reiki or massage, licensed massage therapy, which they said you're going back to Florida for 2 years. There's something for you there, and you were returned back to Sedona. So like hell, I'm not going back to Florida. And yeah, spirit flexed on me, and I find myself back in Florida. And sure enough, I ended up doing massage therapy there and coming back to Sedona, exactly as they shown. When I asked for a sign, step outside, and that eagle was staring right at me. It was like, I couldn't deny that, then it was like, all right, so if you want to know and you ask Spirit for a sign, Spirit will happily flex for you. I call it Spirit. When Spirit flexes, you really can't, you can't deny that, when a lot of people tend to see hawks, ravens, eagles, hummingbirds. They tend to be like emissaries, cardinals, blue jays, dragonflies and butterflies, praying mantises, ladybugs. And usually for those people that are already awake, their signs are usually going to be a lot more subtle than someone who's just not going through their awakening, where they're seeing all the number signs, 1111, 111, 333, 444. But if you're already awoke, your signs and messages tend to be a lot more subtle, because you're now being asked to, you're no longer in the beginner phase. It's like we graduate from beginner, intermediate, advanced, going up the ladder. And to the point where you're able to listen to your intuition and your other senses that you have, and to the point where it's as natural as breathing for you, and it's a beautiful process to be able to come into your power, step into your power, acknowledge your power. Powerful, we spellcast all the time, by what we saying. But my goodness, if you are focused on what you're saying with the intent and the energy that you're putting out with it and the frequency, something good is going to come about it, especially when it's all in divine alignment. And being able to recognize that allows you to be able to navigate, through this matrix, that we're in, his lovely holographic matrix. you know, so I take photos. Some people see, of the if you're open to seeing what's in it, it'll assist whatever codes are in there. Just like when we listen to various types of the music, or the harmonic frequencies, that come through, or when we're blessed to feel the energy of others. They all have a specific purpose, that they bring to the table to help and assist us, all completing the bigger puzzle pieces. Because it's way big. And yeah, yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you. Do you consider the Earth human to be a multi-dimensional entity?
I do.
Ah,
And and here's the thing about it. We have
But we don't
there's so
know about
many.
it yet. The average person has no idea what the hell that means.
Correct. And so they're very, very happy in their 3D
Mhm.
physical body, where if they can't touch it, taste it, hear it, see it, or feel it, it ain't real. And that's where they're at. That they're it's kind of like from kindergarten, to all the way up to your PhD, starting out. And it's like that's pretty much like in life as well. So wherever we're at in the learning curve, and look, you have some that have learned these lessons that come back to be teachers or instructors for others who are just starting out. And and every teacher has a loving way of being able to share the information to their student, or to where they're able to hear it and receive it, because everybody learns differently. So you have somewhere right now, they're very much 3D. They don't want to see anything that they cannot explain. They do not want to deal with anything that challenges their beliefs. It shatters their reality. They are not ready for that. But there are time frames, in a person's life, to where those dark nights of the soul are going to trigger those moments, regardless of whether they're ready for it or not. And then they will find themselves reaching into it, tapping into it, when a loved one gets sick, when a loved one passes away, when there's a breakup, when there is these loving dark nights of the soul, when there's a move, or these things happen. Next thing you know, they're asking for help, they're asking for signs, they're asking, for some type of intervention, if you will. And so when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and if for those that believe in reincarnation, as a soul that's been here a minute, you keep going around till we get it. And so the there was that awesome movie, it was Everything Everywhere All at Once, that just recently came out. It Great way of showing the multiple ways of how a person can be the same person, but different characteristics, throughout the parallel. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. So for those who are not ready for it, they're still in kindergarten, if you will. Nothing wrong with that, because eventually they will have the opportunity to open the door or not. And there are some of that, we open that door and it's like, it's too much, it's too much, it's too much. And, can I get out? Exit stage left. How can I get out of here? So it's our higher selves and our guides want to help and assist us. Like, look, as when you're ready, we're going to help bring the information to you. And for some, hey, for this lifetime, some may be like, you know what, this is where I'm at, and that's their lesson for this lifetime, to handle the lessons of the 3D. Nothing wrong with that, and we have loved ones that where with our loved ones or family, we can have all this coming in and we can share it with them, and they look at us like, that ain't my cup of tea, and some will shut it down, and others are like, you do you, that's fine. And there are others were like, eventually something happens to where they reach out or respond, so it's whenever that window pops up, and like now with the cosmic alignment, where all the planets are lining up once again. Powerful, powerful, powerful. And that's going to trigger a lot of energy. And whether you're still asleep, whether you're starting to wake up, whether you're wide awake, these energies are still going to be fulfilling their purposes and roles to help us to move forward, or to step up, or to step in, or to acknowledge whatever it's being called for. Because it's, even when you try not to hear it or respond to it, it will wake you up. It'll wake you up in the middle of the night and get your attention.
I got another question. Now, you say that all these energies are for a positive spin, right? It is assumed that the planets that line up, the energy is a good thing, right? Could that also be a bad thing?
Well, I mean, you have, you can be either one. Human beings can be good or bad. Animals just are. It's just in their nature. But human beings have we have that free will choice. So you have those that tend to follow the high path, and you have those that tend to follow the low path. And we can even look at humanity's history and see that there are those that are the peacemakers that usually get snuffed out by those that want war. And whoever writes is the one in charge, is the one who makes the history, or at least controls the history, to put in what's right or what's not right. So of course you can have, just like there are angels, there are demons, but which one are you focusing on? If you focus on the angels, and aware that our demons are out there, but you don't want to deal with that, but they're there. And then you have those that go seeking out the demons, which that's a power that you don't want to mess with, but that's what they go after. And then they get schooled because you can't mess with that. And just like our star brethren out there, there are some that are highly, highly fearful of the Greys and the reptilians, and yet there are some Greys and reptilians that are, for humanity's cause, and others that are not. So there's a choice, there's a free will choice, in what we choose to go after, what we choose to learn, and what we choose to acknowledge. And just saying that one doesn't exist can't do that. You can, but there's a big, wide multi-universe out there with a lot of stuff in it. And it's just, what road or path do you want to go down? If you're looking for the dark, you'll find the dark. Dark's everywhere. If you're looking for the light, you'll find the light. The light's within. So which one, or that beautiful proverb, which wolf do you feed? Which wolf do you feed? So everyone has a choice, and for those that, have gifts that are starting to emerge and they're around people that aren't comfortable with that, they tend to find that they either have to squash their gift or shut it down or suppress it, as opposed to them being around those that encourage it, acknowledge it, support it. Literally, it's like it's like the Jedi and the Sith. Which are you, Jedi or your Sith? And then of course there's the ones in the middle, which are the gray, the gray Jedi. But and all their beliefs are right for them. Their truths are right for them. So it's like many of the Jedi Order turn to the dark side, and then there are those on the dark side turn back to the light. So it's ebb and flow. It's ebb and flow. Now, I mean, hell, you've had angels that became fallen angels. So it's what how we choose to, what path you want to go down. And for those that are the historians or the scholars or the ones that are meant to share this information, we're meant to use it with discernment. You can't go around saying every damn thing, because not everybody's going to be able to hear that. And two, you need to be very aware of what you're saying to people and how you say it to them. If you say something to someone who's they're already on the fence and they're wanting to shut you down anyway, the moment that you say something that does not resonate with them, you're done. That door's shut, forget about it. But my goodness.
That already happened to me just recently.
And we can be around someone and say, hey, I've been saying the same thing to them, but this person says it in a manner and way that they're open to hear it and receive it, and now they're open to it. So it's being able to read the room. A lot of people, they don't read the room. Some people are okay with some things, but damn it, if you go past that line, okay, nope, I'm out. Nope. And that what we discussed and talked about, I covers a lot of topics. For the Star Brethren, Star Seeds, a lot of people know they're not into any part of that. You talk about the elementals. Nope, they're not any part of that. Sasquatch, or anything like that. Or so for them, let them be. Let them be. Because if you try to, they're nope, 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 nope. So, but for those who want to learn, are interested, or they will seek it out. They will seek you out. You have to be open, but be open to do it. And what we come to learn is that law of attraction is very, very real. If you put it out there with the universe to align, it's going to happen. And if you're going against something where it's like, why is this not working? Because that's not in alignment, or that the window's not open yet. It's not the right time. We will keep forcing and pushing until, well, we hit a whammy. Then you hit that whammy.
Well,
That's it.
speaking of that,
Lots of energy, so keep that in mind too.
yeah, a lot of energy, and also talking about the changes going on. We talk about be mindful of what you accept in your reality that will become part of your mentality. What part of you are you listening the most to? So when we receive guidance, whether it's from our guardians, whether it's our star families, whether it's the beings of light, is to see what resonance, what vibrational field are you in, to be able to have the capacity to receive that information and be centered to yourself. So a lot of people right now are shifting vibrationally. So what would you recommend or bring some wisdom to people overall who are going through a lot of changes, challenges, and they want to understand better their purpose? Like, hey, what I want to know what's my
Mm.
soul purpose. What can I do to tune in better?
The For anyone who has literally asked that, or they're thinking it, or they're feeling it, it's already starting to happen.
Ah,
And the more specific you are with it's kind of as my higher self shared with me. It's kind of like asking your food choices. Um, the fast food it's convenient. The drive-thru is very convenient. It's not the best thing for you, but it's very convenient. So you'll quick on the go. However, your higher self is saying, "Hey, we have a 5-star chef preparing you a 5-course meal at a 5-star restaurant. It's going to take a little bit of time, but everything will be made from scratch, and it's all organic, it's all healthy, and you will have that to choose whatever you want. Which one would you choose? The quick and easy, or the one that it's going to be absolutely spectacular if you're patient. And that's what they're asking of us. One, do your best to be present in the now. My goodness, there's so much stuff that we tend to hold on from the past. You can't change the past, and you cannot change the future, but you can be very present in the now. You can absolutely learn from your lessons and mistakes from the past and apply that in the now to greatly help your chances in the near future. And it's the water in the bridge. Is it going to make a difference a year from now? Is it going to make a difference 5 years from now? Is it going to make a difference 10 years from now? If the answer is no, let it go. If you feel you've got to hold on to it and bring it up, have at it. But just know that the people that you're interacting with, are you on the same frequency to where they're able to understand the words coming out of your mouth? If not, you got to change it up, because they're not going to hear you. So, and remember that the people are placed in your life just like they are a test for you as you're a test for them. It's almost like a Shakespearean play, and everybody has their role to play in it. You have some that are very uplifting and supportive of you, and then you have others that feel like your damn arch nemesis, But these are the individuals that your souls are doing this to help each other to grow. For those that have not learned their lessons, they don't get to graduate. They got to repeat it, and hello, we're in summer school now. So if you ain't learned the lessons we got 2 days of spring left. 2 days of spring left. If you ain't learned your lessons now, guess what? You got summer school. That's a lot of condensed information in a very short amount of time, and it's hot. It's hot. So that's a lot. That's a lot going on. So literally, it's how open are we to being able to process and learn the lessons and the information in the real time. And one, don't be so damn hard on yourself. My goodness, we beat ourselves up and you couldn't do this, should have done that. Being able to just step back from that. do what feels right. Then we say, well, what's that? When you do what feels right for you, that's what's right for everyone else. If you're stopping what you're doing to do for others and you're not taking care of your needs, you're not going to be a happy person. And if we're taking on more than we can handle because they're dependent on me, we can only do what we can do. And it's for us to be able to know your limits. And don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to say yes. And man, those boundaries are really important because we don't have a problem saying no to a stranger, but boy, when it's our loved ones and those close to us, because they already know the inner workings of us. So not that they would use control or manipulation tactics or anything like that, all right? But being able to recognize that a lot of the old patterns and ways just aren't working anymore. And what we're realizing and noticing now, things that we used to say or do, and our actions and behaviors, those don't work anymore. Those won't get you through the door anymore. You gotta come up with a whole new game plan. And now that's what we're being called to. So a lot of people are realizing, like, wait a minute, I used to hang out and interact with these people all the time, and now we don't talk, we don't see each other because your frequencies have shifted. You're not on the same frequency. And there's that point, people in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. A reason, a season, or a lifetime. So being able to acknowledge that as well, because everything is shifting. We're still eternal souls. I mean, my goodness, your soul will eventually meet back up with these individuals at some other point around the corner, just like that. And so for those that we still, have lessons with, study up. Allow yourself to receive a study guide. I mean, it's an open book test, but life is an open book test. But you'd be amazed at how many people choose to close the damn book. They just check the wisdom, the knowledge, the information, yeah, out the window. And then we're going to ask somebody would you ask somebody who learned the lesson, who's able to share it in the form, that experience in the form of advice, from where they've been there and done that. They have the souvenir picture, t-shirt, mug, and all of that. Or would you disregard what they have to say and share to go with the person who's never done that ever? They've never, ever done that. You're going to listen to this person never, ever done that. That's like saying, this person doesn't know how to fly a plane, but, you're going to fly with them. That don't make no sense. But people do a lot of things that doesn't make sense, and yeah, just apply common sense too. That's amazing how many people don't have common sense. So be gentle with yourself. Be loving to those around you. Do your best to be forgiving. And I like to Kenny Rogers, that song The Gambler. No one to hold them, no one to fold them, no one to walk away, no one to run. It's amazing how there's so much knowledge and wisdom and the things around us if we just allow ourselves to listen and hear it. Because it presents itself. It's like right there, but that's not what it is. That's not what it is, but that's what it is. Address the elephant in the room, for Pete's sake. If it's in a tutu, acknowledge it. Ask if he wants some peanuts or a cup of tea or something. Is it comfortable? A lot of people, they turn a blind eye to it, and it's like, it's not going anywhere. If you don't want to face it, guess what? You will face it at some point. And if you say you won't, oh, yes, you will. Yes, you will. Because that's part of it. If there's someone I don't want to be around, then guess what? They're going to pop up all the damn time. I'm just like, So being able to acknowledge that, your higher self's plan for you is far greater than your 3D self, egoic self's plan for you. Ego wants to protect you, but my goodness, we're not in prehistoric times anymore, so ego's like that shield or the filter that blocks out a lot of the spiritual information coming through. It's like that. It's like this big umbrella. So it's good to bring the umbrella down so that you can receive that coming in. Because if you're going chill umbrellas up, you're not going to get you're not going to receive that nourishing rain from spirit.
How can we do that? How can we do that to close the umbrella and allowing higher self more connection? What would you recommend for people?
uh, people usually want to know, well, how do you know if your higher self, your ego is, the one that's interacting? Well, how do you feel? How do you feel? Usually if you're in a loving, state of grace and peaceful place, your higher self is in flow. But boy, if you're feeling angry, anxious, worried, fearful, pissed off, upset, angry, hello, ego may be stirring the pot a little bit because somebody has said this or hasn't said this, or somebody has done this or they haven't done that, or hello, have we asked or have we not asked? Have we stepped forward? Where are we at in that? So it's a lot of time. Ego is amazing at being able to blame other people, for ego stuff. It's not my stuff, it's your stuff. But when we deal with our own stuff, you're able, and that's one day at a time, because my goodness, I'm nowhere near mastered that, man. I'm working on it, but I got a long way to go. So being able to be present in the moment, if someone gets you all worked up, take a moment, back up, that count your breath, count to 10 or whatever. But, literally, what am I being called to learn from this? And if my ego's like, ooh, let me handle it, let me tag me in. Don't tag ego in. That's bedlam. So being able to be present in the now, that's that. It's very challenging to be present in the now. If somebody pushes your button in and out, and they know how to push your buttons, because you won't do or what they've asked you to do, and they want to push your button to get you worked up. And then when you get emotionally worked up, all logic goes out the window. You're definitely not here in spirit. You're just, you channel your inner Hulk. Now you're raging out. And usually when somebody rages out, more chaos tends to happen when we rage out than when we take a step and just, hey, let's go for a walk. Let's have a cup of tea. Let's have some chocolate. Let's have a hug.
Yes, chocolate. Chocolate and energetic reset. I call them reset. Step back, like you beautifully said, Derrell, is step back, reset, take a deep breath, ask, what is it that, what is it that I am learning? What is it I'm being pulled into? And give yourself permission to change your mind, change direction. Okay, I choose again. Breathe, reset, I choose again. And yes, chocolate definitely. I would love to hear about your expertise, your guidance, and your wisdom about this very powerful planetary alignment that we're coming into summer solstice. There's 5 planets, the 5 major ones, are coming in complete alignment with the summer solstice. What can you tell us about what is this going to bring us, or what is this teaching us? Or I want to hear from your expertise. You're amazing.
I had a profound epiphany. I absolutely love Western tropical astrology. It has been my go-to for as long as I can remember. But something never set right with me, which was like I always feel like my rising wasn't Virgo. Well, in Vedic astrology, which follows the stars, Western tropical follows the sun. Now in Vedic, I'm a Leo rising, which is like, oh, hello, and my moon is in Virgo. So there's a 24-degree difference between Vedic and Western, but the aspects are all still very much the same. And literally, we're coming with the solstice, which we enter on Tuesday,
Yeah.
which is
The 20.
huge. And then we got the big old square Mars square coming up, which hits on the 20th. No, hits on the 1st, July 1st. Literally, what the planetary alignment is going to do, if you've been on the path that has not been the path to the highest good for you, is you're going to be entering construction. You're going to be seeing a lot of signs, like a lot of spiritual signs, like detour, take another route. So, and literally, this is, if you're not happy where your life is going, you have the opportunity to address that. The Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. These are the summer signs. Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Now, 2 of those, very interesting. Cancer is ruled by the moon. and it's the only one that's ruled by the moon. Leo is ruled by the sun, and it's the only one that's ruled by the sun. And then you have Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, but it also is very much connected with Chiron, the wounded healer, since it focuses on the sixth house of health and routine and daily habits, and where Leo focuses on the fifth house of creativity, fun, children, intimate partnerships. Cancer, which represents home and family, and the moon is about what you need. So literally, for, the 90 days of summer, that is going to allow you to really, where are you at and where do you want to be going at? Because the moon is going to trigger what you need, and the sun is going to trigger what you want. And then, of course, Virgo's going to trigger, what are you doing about it in the here and now to assist that? So we can expect, things of loved ones, home and family, coming up. Stuff with mother, coming up. We still got the stuff with siblings that are still pot's still staring with. Your creative juices, my goodness, if this is your time frame, you can best believe that the summer is absolutely going to trigger it up. If you've been working on that book or that blog or that vlog or that YouTube channel, or anything like that, this summer is just really going to, if you find yourself going with the flow of it and asking for help, it's going to come together, websites or anything like that. If you're still fighting it, you're still choosing to ignore it, you're still, saying that's not me, I've got to do this, then don't be shocked or surprised that the summer literally turns your life upside down, like emptying the trash out. It's time. Our loved ones, they've clearly said it's time. And for those that know that it's time and choose not to abide by it, well, hold on to your seat. It's going to be a bumpy ride. And for those that are, open and stepping up to the challenge, allow yourself to know that your wishes are about to come true. And this can all be shifted in the real time. They're asking for us to be very present in the real time. Summer's hot. It's so hot. But it's literally it's that midway point, summer and winter. So it's like a 6-month cycle. From literally where you're going at in the summer to where you're at in the winter, and it will allow you to see: have I been tending to the task and chores that my soul knows I'm obligated to complete? My soul's contracts. Am I tending to those contracts, or am I choosing not to? The higher self has a contingency plan for us. If we choose to break that contract, they show up. Spirit shows up. Excuse me. You have a contract. Need you to get back to work, and that's when we start to experience those dark nights of the soul. Because everything that you're, trying to force and push, and if it's not meant to be, then those doors will come to a close. Those doors will come to a close. Guarantee those doors will come to a close. And kind of like Motel 6 will leave the light on, but the light won't be on for those. When the doors close, it's closed. Move on to the next closing time. For those that are open to it, those that have been literally preparing, oh my goodness, preparing, we're in eclipse season. So the eclipses are triggering up. In Vedic, it's Aries and Libra, which, boy, first house and seventh house. So that's first house of self and seventh house of, of partner relationships. And in Western, it's still, Scorpio and Taurus, which is the money houses, second house and eighth house, your money and partner's money, business partner money. So this is about being able to manifest what you're open and ready to manifest. And my goodness, I don't have enough. Guess what? That's what the universe hears. As opposed to saying the universe will provide for me, all is well. Are you half empty or half full type person? That is literally what the summer is about. It's summer school. It's a lot of advanced, intense information, all in a very short amount of time. I mean, if you think about it, what do we got rolling up? Numerology wise, you got 778899. Which rolling up for the summer. 7-7 in Cancer, the moon, 8-8 Lionsgate, Leo, the sun, and then 9-9, rolling up in Virgo. Where are we at? in this. And it's if you're not sure, that's all right. I'd imagine by the time the summer is over, we will have some type of inkling of where to go. If you're on track, you're ready, and this is the window, step into it, you will be very, very pleased by the time it rolls around. Because spring is when you're planting the seeds, everything's going, and summer you're seeing it grow, and then fall is the autumn is the harvest, and then you're able to sustain yourself on that in the winter. And then from winter, you're making plans on what you're going to be doing next to continue the crop, but burst off into the spring. And so, like every 90 days is a beautiful review. And then if you want, you put that together, every 6 months is a review. So here it is. We had that eclipse back in November, and then we just had the eclipse in April, and we had the eclipse in May. Holy moly. That's a lot of energy that's going to be rolling through. We have 2 more Mercury retrogrades, the rolling through in September and in December. Excuse me, that will help us, where are we going? Where are we at? What's the GPS doing? As we notice, a lot of our electronics have been acting a bit crazy lately. So being called to focus in on your inner knowing a bit more, because that technology is just sometimes we're relying on the thing that just doesn't. When it goes down, what do we do? When my phone goes down, my Google's not working. My Alexa's not working. Siri's not working. Hello, just stop and go within. Being able to listen. This planetary alignment is absolutely going to help get us together. We got a square today. We got a square tomorrow. We got a square on the 23rd, a square on the 25th, the 27th, and then 2 on the 28th, and 1 on the 30th. And squares are the lessons that help the soul to address what it needs to address. Mm-hmm. So we're, literally just for the rest of June, we've got it's gonna amp up, and we will be noticing there will be an amplification or intensity to the energy starting on the 25th and rolling through to around the 6th of July. Without a doubt, I will be very, very interested to see how everyone's doing during that time frame. Literally leading up to 7/7, and then of course a month later 8/8 Lionsgate, which is the sun illuminates everything, and the moon and all of its, the moon goddess, all that. There you go. You have the divine feminine energy of the moon. You have the divine masculine energy of the sun. So that bringing in the harmony and balance, both sides of those. So where we're at, are you more in your masculine or more in your feminine? And we're meant to be a beautiful balance of both, to have that harmony. So whatever's out of balance and out of harmony, that's what you can expect to be getting addressed for the summer, because it's time. It's time.
Oh, let's take a deep breath. Oh my goodness, let's breathe, everyone. This is incredible. Derrell, thank you so much. Derrell, I'm so sorry. I keep calling your name, saying your name in the Canadian way. So you're amazing. I want to let you know there's so many great comments on the chat room. People like, wow, you're amazing, so knowledgeable. The energy. And after time, here's the synchronicity. After time, I read questions for you. And then as I'm going to share that with you, you've already answered the question. It's incredible, the synchronicity. Yeah, it really is absolutely incredible. So very much lots of energy coming in. Many people relate to the summer school, and with the alignment coming in, the solstice, this window of gateway opening. So this is a time of really purging, did the clearing, clear the house, be clear about who you are, bring in more light. It's about renewal, new cycles, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, because we're last 2 days of spring, so extended spring cleaning turns into that summer cleaning, and then and that's making room. Like I said, literally being able to address and release all the emotional baggage that we've been carrying around for this year, last year, the year before, or however long we've been here in these fleshy physical bodies. Man, wouldn't it be great just to be able to let that stuff go and allow the heart to heal? My goodness, a lot of the stuff we've been holding on to has kept us from being able to heal that wound, because some of us feel like that's our identity. The wound is the only way that we can still, what do I do if I release that? Live. Enjoy life. There's so many more fun things to do other than be miserable. What's that saying? Misery loves company. I will not be accepting any type of RSVP for that pity party. I just don't have no time for it.
You're so funny.
So it's being gentle with, hey, if I'm able to do this, I can do it. And if not, and even if, you set your intention to do that and it doesn't happen, that's all right. Just, if you get thrown off the horse, get back up on it, and just be a bit more mindful.
Perfect. And we got a question for you from Simon in Glastonbury. Simon is asking you, could you please speak more about Chiron, the wounded healer?
Chiron, which is Chiron is a centaur, so like literally look like Sagittarius. But Chiron in Greek mythology, he was an immortal teacher of the gods and heroes, and he was hit with a poison arrow, which he gave him so much pain that he couldn't die. So they asked for him to remove his immortality so that he could, that pain could be released. And a lot of those that are highly empathic tend to take on Chiron's characteristics, like they want to fix people, they want to help everybody, even when they haven't been asked to, or they always want to do more, and they find themselves being exhausted. We tend to do this a lot with our loved ones and whatnot. It's like we give and give and give and give, but we don't allow ourselves to receive back. Oh, my battery's low. What? I thought it was plugged in. Give me a second. I don't want my battery to die on me. Oh my goodness. Looky there. See? Oh, there it is. Oh, huh. It is plugged in. All right. I had a technical difficulty there. Yeah, kind of like our loved ones kind of blindside us out of the blues. Like you have something else to do, but you put that on the back burner to go and tend to everybody else's needs. And then before you know it, you're not tending to your needs anymore. And a lot of empaths tend to everybody else's needs and neglect their own, which is why it feels so alien to us when people ask us, is there anything I can do for you? We're just, oh my goodness, you don't have to do that. Why would you do that? Because it's the part of the give and take, the balance. If you give, allow yourself to receive. And if you receive, allow yourself to give. And a lot of empaths do a whole lot of giving and not enough receiving back. And this summer will absolutely be addressing that, for us. For those that are always giving to others, you'll find that this summer is about you. It's a how Stella got a groove moment back, being able to take time out to revisit self. So a lot of us will find. And naturally the Virgo sun, Virgo rising, Virgo moon, my goodness, the givers. So for those that find themselves caretaking, parenting, just allow yourself a little, you time, me time, if at all possible, even as little as 5 minutes, being able to take that time to show the universe that you're open to receive back. Because the gates are going to be opening, the portals are opening. So they're sitting there knocking on the door, the Amazon, and nobody, I'm busy, come back later. So, don't miss the opportunity. Whereas, hey, it's Amazon Prime is on its way, or UPS or FedEx was like, here's the tracking number. You're right there eagerly waiting for it. So where do we want to be at? This summer is a reset. It's a redo. It's a revisit, a reevaluation, a restart. It just allows you to, if you're tired of the old, or you're done with the old, or it allows you to do something different. Which that works.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. People are just loving your energy, your laughter, the information, the direction. You answer so many. Again, the synchronicity of you answering solidties of question. It is phenomenal. I would love to bring in a new direction and talk about your amazing ability to capture, whether it's what called orbs, entities, being, fairies, energy, ancestors. One of the picture you showed me was, I think, was taken in China, if I remember correctly. Can you talk about this with us?
So I was very blessed and fortunate to be allowed to go to China to document my friend's her family's ceremony there back in 2016. It happened to be my very first time out of the country, and ironically was all the way around the world to China as my first experience. And it was at a Buddhist monastery. We were there for 2 weeks. Um, I'd never been there before, but I, felt like, I felt very comfortable walking around. I can read anything. I was all in Chinese, but I felt very comfortable there. And they allowed me, I was the first person allowed to document the ceremony or to take photos for that matter in the monastery. Um, and the head monk had said that was, they had a premonition that, of showing up. They did invite me to stay. They absolutely invited me to stay at the monastery and become an honorary monk. Um, that was, and I was deeply honored by that. But it was my first time out of the country, and I figured if I don't come back, that wouldn't be good. But they did let me know that I was always welcome to be a monk there. They absolutely acknowledged the. I couldn't stop laughing and smiling, so they really took a liking to me, and it was really fun because they took me in, and it was apparently my soul has done that before because man, when they bang the big drum, bow bow bow, and they say bye senpai, that's bow 3 times, and that's all the way down on your knees, and your head touches the ground. The 10,000 of bison pies. That right there. Mug life is interesting. Um, but and we hit, the ceremony was done on the summer solstice, and it just so happened that my goodness, the energy that aligned with that, the orbs outside, inside, in the ancestral room. I did share the photos with them, and they were it was something that they had not experienced before, but being able to feel it and then being able to see what you're feeling, so that to be the emissary, to be able to show that what their spirituality and the energy that they were bringing in, and how it manifested. The spirit is around you 24/7. Our loved ones that have crossed over, our pets that have crossed over, our guardian angels. I mean, all these beings are very much with us, and a lot of people feel, they're shocked because they're like they say or feel like they can't connect with them, and it's like, but they're right there with you the whole time. So when someone's a bit more open up to be able to your open channel. Can I ask you to share this message to my loved one, please? And then to be able to share it in a loving and discerning way, that they're open to receive it. And that has been, I've had that experience quite a bit, with loved ones where, their loved ones have been very much with them, very present with them, and they're like, I don't feel them, but they're like, they're right here. And then to have them demonstrate to them that you're kind of like Patrick Swayze in Ghost, like he jumps in Whoopi's body is right there. They're there, and the moment that addressing that grief and that wound in the heart, because it's being able to be in a state of grace, knowing that you're all is well, and so that way when they come through, when they show up, because they're still here with us, interacting, and as spirit, they can be in multiple places at once, and being able to feel that and acknowledge that, and being, people may say you're crazy, but my goodness, imagine anybody that's ever been a high priest or high priestess, or channel or medium, my goodness, they hear spirit. So but they're told that they're crazy because they hear spirit. But you had leaders and all these people coming to them asking for their advice and guidance, through spirit. So isn't that ironic? The a lot of people, they don't want to know, but you're only meant to know what you're open to know. That if you want to know the deeper stuff, they'll happily show that to you. And if you just want to know that a loved one's okay or whatnot, they'll happily share that with you too. A lot of people that see the Cardinals or the Blue Jays, coming through, and my goodness, China's got a lot of people, and the monastery is built on the island where Kuan Yin last ascended from, the Bodhisattva. So it's literally there's a massive statue of Kuan Yin on the island, and then she's compassion. She was the Bodhisattva of compassion, love and compassion. So to be there and to walk around and to feel absolutely at peace with everything. I'm like, I was way, way from home. And it's like literally we were a whole day ahead, from here. So literally when I came back to the United States, it was like time travel because you go back in time, like that was surreal. Like today is yesterday that I was just at, but that was a trip. Didn't even need a DeLorean or anything.
Incredible. That's incredible. That reminds me is that when we were in Sedona last weekend and we had, if you remember, we had dinner at this lovely little garden terrace, and there was a table of, a little group of people, maybe they were 6 of them. And I keep looking at their table because I could see a woman leading towards them, want to get their intention. Well, now, what I mean by that is that she was non-corporeal. I could see one of their loved ones. It was a woman with white hair, short, and she wanted to get the attention of the gentleman, in particular with the hat. And remember, I pointed out to you, and you said, you laughed with your beautiful laugh, and you said, well, that's because she wants to get their attention, but they're so ingrained in their 3D, they're so focused here that they cannot even able to acknowledge her. And she came 3 times. I could see her. 3 times she came, and then she left because she was not coming through to them on that level. I remember that we were having dinner with Divine Fractal, Peter, and the 4 of us. Remember that last weekend?
Oh, absolutely. Because we also had some elementals over there in the corner, by the tree, and the birds kept landing right there looking at us. But that's spirit will interact with you, especially when you're out in nature. And whoever is the more open to receiving the message is the one that they're able to interact with. The higher the frequency, because these are beings of love and light. And it's not just say, these are literally beings of love and light, highest frequency that you can be. So, to be able to feel that, to interact with that, do you have laughter, love, and joy in your heart? And believe you me, you can go through an immense amount of pain and trauma and still have love and joy in your heart. I speak from experience, so these, and they just want to, they're at the frequency. And sure enough, had we been like, we gauged it, we read the room, and it was just like there was no going over to bring that message to them because they were very, very much where they're at, and that you could just tell. Yeah, one of us went over to share that message. Yeah, their matrix might have crashed, so they were not ready for that. So, but that was a confirmation to you that you were absolutely, you acknowledged it, you saw it. And yeah, usually when it appears in 3s or happens in 3s, because hello 3, Nikola Tesla 369, the secrets of the universe. So whenever you get this happening, and how open are we to it? And it's like I said, we can be open to it, but if the person that's meant to receive the message is not open to it, then what can you do? And you can't force it. You got to respect it, because you still like, I have a message from you. Nope. So that, but that was something for us. Like, hey, Holy moly. Yep. And just to see that. So that, and usually after a loved one has, someone close to them has transitioned, they start to, they want to connect more with them. And then but they're still going through that process of grief, because, and grief affects the lungs, grief affects the lungs. The, every emotion every emotion has a particular organ in the body that it likes to go to, and even Louise Hayes, heal the body, every, wherever that issue is in the body. So a lot of people, have grief, and make no mistake, the stages of grief are real. They're very, very real, and a lot of people, will do harm to their lungs, whether unconsciously, consciously, or subconsciously, not even recognizing. The lungs hold grief. So a lot of our loved ones, that hammer their lungs, a lot of grief, and usually a broken heart, and that can be associated with anything, that affects the lungs, asthma, bronchitis, emphysema, COPD, um, cancer, the smoking. These are things that they affect the lungs. Others, anger, my goodness, gallbladder, spleen, the liver, kidneys. Um, when the organs get overloaded and they shut down, it's kind of like when the organ says it's had enough and it puts in its pink slip, says, I quit, you know, oh crap, the kidney just left, well, hey, stomach, can you do the kidney's job? I'm not qualified to do that job, so literally it's funny how you look at it, but literally wherever we're holding that pain at, the body's going to let you know. I've been studying reflexology since February, and it goes very well with massage therapy. And my goodness, the feet, the hands, and the ears are holograms of the body. So you look at this crazy, the thumb or the big toe is like the head, and then of course the jaw and the neck and whatnot, and the shoulders, and then of course the chest, the diaphragm, the intestines. It's all there, and a lot of people don't want to address that, but it's very accurate.
It is. It is. Thank you so much for this, sharing your. I know you're studying more for that, and I'm sure you're going to be able to be back and talk more about this because it is a
Yeah,
the reflexology of the body. Uh, Jeff, you've seen quite a bit of Darrell's orbs pictures in the past, haven't you? Oh, we're not able to hear you. Are you on mute?
Yes,
Okay.
quite a few. I had a dog barking in the background. I
Well, it's part of the pleasure here on, we have cattails, dog barking. It's all part of the whole team. There are spirit beings too, Syrians, Lyrans. So we're all in great companies. Um, yeah, so you've seen quite a bit or of his pictures before, all the orbs and everything, the fairies.
Yeah, I actually scrutinized a couple of them. I thought they were fake, but they were actually real. Yeah, actually, there's a couple that got animals and eagles in it and everything. I'm like, it can't be. But after looking at it, it definitely is. I don't know how he does it, but that's why I was asking about that multidimensional, what we are, because he can actually go and step outside of himself to take a picture of everything.
I kept asking, I wanted I wanted to see them, and I wanted to connect with them. It was like how do I hear you? How do I see you, acknowledge you, interact with you from a place of grace, not fear, from grace. And that's when the be outside more. So being outside, and I started seeing faces and everything, faces in the rocks, faces in the water, faces in the sky. Um, I'm taking pictures at night, and these luminaries are showing up, and it's like it's not there. With the camera, and I just point and click, with the flash on it. and then it's okay. There it is. Whether it's on the ground or up in the sky or whatnot. And then there's been people with me, and they've literally seen it as well. That literally, it's nothing there, and then the flash of, did you see that? And so I've learned that when people are with me, around me, and they're open to it, absolutely, things come through. Now, of course, that's happened quite a bit here in Sedona and in Shasta, and at my friends' places in Florida and in Silver City, New Mexico, or up at Chuela, the other places. These, if you're around loved ones with the same frequency and they're open to it, my goodness, a lot comes through. And that, that as they share with me, being a bridge or a connector, being able to make the unseen seen, or making spirit tangible, if you will. And that's for those that are open to it. My goodness, is it lens flare? Hell, it could be, but if it's got a face in it, that's interesting for a lens flare to have a face. Okay. Is it a bug? Well, hell, I took pictures and like, that's a bug. That looks like a bug. That don't look like a bug to me. So that's my own. I just took a camera and went outside and kept taking pictures and kept asking Spirit, show me a sign. That's for another sign. How many signs does it take for you to to get to the center of a
Okay, no.
So, and I just.
Well, go ahead.
I just allow myself to, take the photos,
Okay,
whether it's on the phone or camera.
I just thought that was where he was standing, where he was at. Is it the ground? Is it the quartz bed, the iron bed in New Mexico? Blah, blah, blah. But, then all of a sudden I get these friends of mine that send me orbs in their homes. Okay, here in the north. And so I started doing the same thing. And son of a gun, if I ain't got a shit ton of orbs in my house. I'd record it, and then I just stopped recording it because it was so damn many. It's like, I have enough. So it isn't where you're at; it's who you are.
Yes, who you are, your vibration,
right?
Your vibrational state. Remember, it's all about vibration. Now we talk about frequency, what we attract. Every day, what vibrational state are you in? So when you did the camera, same thing with my Arcturian group, and a very specific point, the car can be moving on the road and it will say, grab your device right now. And what they said to me, grab your device now, take pictures of these angles. That's because at that junction, there is a very specific alignment, a frequency alignment that's taking place. That no matter what device I use, whether it's my cell phone or a tablet or even a camera, there's something there that I need to capture and something there to need to understand. And one thing and I noticed about you, Derrell, is that it's really about your frequency. Because the same person can utilize the same phone and 3 different people will use your phone one after another and the result will be very different. And I noticed that when I saw your pictures. So can we expect a book or something can we expect a project with this?
The project has been in the works, for the past couple of years, and I'm actually finally ready. Literally, my writer's block lifted on the 3rd. They even gave me the title of the book and everything, so that was spirit flexing on me. But because I was like, how am I going to do this? Will it be accepted? And they're like, they've been asking, literally since 2017, get it out there, get it out there. And now I'm open, and truth be told, I was supposed to have been down to Goodyear, but it was too damn hot. I didn't want to go down there. It was 110 to 114 degrees. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. So I just allowed myself to get the other stuff together. But the book is absolutely coming, 100%. And now I'm ready to complete it. And there's more. I mean, I have thousands of photos, and I can't even exaggerate about that. There's literally orbs and just orbs by itself, fairies or elementals by themselves, light beings. I could do all of that, because that's what has presented itself, and it's for those that are open to that. Is it an activator? More than likely, for anybody that comes across and sees it, it'll absolutely activate something. For those that want to know that the Fae are real, and they have been real, they've been as real can be since the they're real. Same for the angels that and the star beings. So I'm a universal ambassador, being able to interact with them and to share what their frequency to others. And so I compiled all the photos, and now it's to put them to good use. And I've looked at some are just, people like, wait a minute, that's just a book full of photos, and it's like, yeah, now some of them I can put share the story with it of how it came through. And for the longest time, that was all up in my head of how to do this. And they're like, well, you're really making this complicated, aren't you? And it's, because, now they're just, for those that are open to it, they will receive it. And little
it's actually a good resource, for people to see it, and then they can communicate with it. They can get something else. Hey, I just seen the same thing.
And literally, a lot of the books that I was, the Ascension of Orbs, Diana Cooper, she had a whole lot of, people send in photos, of their orbs and stuff, and she made the book. When I met Tom Dongo, his book Merging Dimensions, and I was, looking at that, I'm like, wow, it's a lot of the same beings are showing up. And then the book Beyond Photography, I'm like, wait a minute, these are the same things again. So it's not just me. There are multiple people that have the same gift that I do, to be able to interact and communicate with spirit. It's, are we open to it? Because I've been hearing it, but I haven't allowed myself to follow through until I was ready, to do so. And the photos that are on Facebook, that literally was chronicling my spiritual awakening from the very moment that I came here to Sedona. And then, of course, all the way through, those photos chronicled what I was seeing and experiencing during that time frame. And of course, people, that's not real, that doesn't exist. And yet, here it is. And if you're skeptical, then allow yourself to go out and be open to see it. But be open to see it. You can still be skeptical, but be open to see it. If you're skeptical and not open to see it, don't be shocked and surprised you're not going to see nothing. If you want to see it, they want to share with you, because my goodness, our DNA is clearly it's more than just human. It's more than just human. So we have this connection. I mean, my goodness, Lemuria, Atlantis, come on. These ancient civilizations, ancient China, ancient Egypt, Machu Picchu, the gold tablets, the emerald tablets, the information is there. I mean, my goodness, our government sure in hell knows about it. So they've been knowing about it for quite some time. So my goodness, for the person that actually feels in the heart of hearts and just knows that there's more out there, boy, isn't it quite amazing to actually allow yourself to, holy moly, it's real. And I just allow myself to to ask, and what spirit showed me, it's all around. Wherever you go, spirit is there. Wherever you go, spirit is there. Whether it's Kentucky, California, Florida, Washington, Oregon, New Mexico, spirit is there. And I've gotten just as many elemental fairy photos over in Kentucky and Florida as I have in Arizona and New Mexico and in California. It's everywhere. So it's how open are we to it? And literally now, with the grand alignment and everything happening, the energy's right. For make a wish. Ask what you want. Especially if you could ask for anything, what would you ask for? I want that. A stronger connection with my higher self to actually be able to hear it and follow through with it. And get the hell out of my way. Because my goodness, we get in our own way more than anybody else. We roadblock ourselves more than anybody else. We can't blame anybody, for our procrastination or analysis by paralysis. My goodness, it's been a minute, and I said I'm ready to share what I have to share and put it out there. I mean, because literally the yeah, I've been honored to be on the show quite a few times to share these, the insights that come through, and then of course it was, are you gonna work on your videos? I'm not gonna work on my videos. Why not? Cause it's just too much, and yet very natural. The interacting with it, but it's like YouTube channel has nothing on it because it's like, well, hell, I could talk about it, but all the technical stuff, and they're like, boy, you're just making excuses. Oh yeah, if you think you're ready, just allow yourself to see how many excuses your ego comes up with to stop you. That
Well, speaking of that, speaking of that, since we got about 5 minutes left, we have a beautiful request for you,
uh-huh.
uh, Derrell. We have a beautiful request from Marjorie. Marjorie is asking, could you please, with the ones that you see that you are, communicating with the fairies, the elementals, can we put an intention? Can we put an intention right now to help everyone to see them and communicate with them? Can we do that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There's the goosebumps for
Good.
any and all that are open. Allow yourselves to know that you absolutely have a very powerful connection with the elemental fae, with the angelic divine realm, with the cosmic realm, with our star brethren, with the multi interdimensional beings. Allow yourself to know that they are you and you are them, and allow yourself to know that they are family, just like we are family to each other. They mean you no harm. If you come from a higher place and come from your heart, then you will receive exactly what you give out. Allow yourself to know that you're ready to step into your power, to acknowledge who you are, and know that it's more than okay to shine your light. It's okay to be the light at the end of the tunnel, so to help guide others out of the darkness. It's okay to be the light in the lighthouse to guide others out of the rough seas of life into the safety of the harbor. And allow yourself to know that these beings have been with you, uh, well, since you've been you, and they are happily, joyfully ready to reconnect with all of you. So just allow yourself to know that you set that intent, they will absolutely reach out to you. Be around those with high frequency. Be out in nature. Be around jovial, happy people. Allow yourself to laugh. Don't be so serious and don't take life so seriously. These beings of love and light, they love children. They love laughter. They love animals. They love nature. They love happiness. They love music. High frequency. These are the things that help and assist them. They don't like dwelling in lower vibration. That's not their gig. So allow yourself to know that you are more than ready to receive them, and allow yourself to check the emotional baggage to the bellhop. They will happily take that and disperse of it. All you need to do is give it to them. And with that, allow yourself to know that you are far more than what you've been told that you are, and it's our time to shine.
Whoa, love it, love it. I mean, people are writing like goosebumps. And so, yeah, no, there's no need to be clairvoyant, so to speak, to be able to
No.
see them. It's very
Mhm.
much it's very much like you mentioned so clearly. It's a return to the heart. It's a return to, being in your light and being able to lead the way. I loved everything that you just shared. Absolutely.
Okay,
And
okay, but be careful what you ask for because you'll get it.
Especially now, this is the time if you're going to make a wish, no, there are no take backs,
be
especially if
clear.
it's your soul's contract. Yeah,
Right.
receive it, receive the blessing. And it's your blessing. This is not something you can give to others, it's your blessing. So receive your blessing. And by you receiving your blessings, you show others how to receive their blessings. You can't give your blessings to others, not their blessing. But if you receive your blessings, you're able to show others, the way, so be a way shower, and know that that's okay.
Absolutely. Be away, sure. And be clear in your manifestation. Always says, come back to your heart, the wisdom of your being, and
Yeah.
ask, what is it that I really wish to manifest? And it's be very, very clear with all aspect of you. So good point, Jeff. Really good point. Well, we are wrapping up just for today, but join us on Sunday, July 3rd. Sunday, July 3rd, we're going to have an amazing lady from Dubai. She's an animal communicator. She talks to intergalactic beings. She's a little firecrackers with so much heart energy. You're going to love her. Her name is Sabine Poncelet. She's originally from Belgium. So join us for Sunday, July 3rd, 11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, right here on the Infinite Star Connections. Derrell, it's been an absolutely super joyful ride. We went on a journey. We traveled to the dimension. We went to the planetary alignment. We came back to the wisdom of the earth, feet on the ground as we are connected. You are absolutely a diamond, a jewel on this earth. So thank you.
It's an honor. Y'all my soul family. I love y'all.
Yeah, and
You know,
we
we just put a nickel in you and you just like take off, man. You're on your own.
Yeah,
love
I,
the
I,
jukebox.
I, I had I had the photos all loaded up. I didn't
Well,
know
we'll
if we
get to
were
that
going
another time.
to.
We got so much content to go over. It's unbelievable.
I got an idea. I got an idea. How about this, everyone, and everyone joining us right now? How about this? When your book is ready to be launched, how about you come back and we do a lunch book party with some slides just to give a little taste for everybody, huh? How
Oh,
about that?
right on. That works.
I'll
Right
go with
on?
that. I'll go
Yay!
with that.
Yeah, 'cause we got a little bit of everything. I was quite surprised. I had no idea I had that many. I have a couple of UFO photos and a couple of Ponte
Oh,
photos, and
you have a lot. You have a lot.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Okay, I'm getting a lot of yeses. Yes, please. Great idea. Please do it. Great show today. Love it. Great dynamic conversation. Lots of energy. So we're gonna do when you're ready for the book. We're gonna do a book launch party right here on the Infinite Star Connections, and we'll put some slides we can show, and we're gonna do all of this. How about?
that
So
works.
yes, and definitely getting a copy of the book. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for everybody. My friend, of course, Jeff, as always, we are always happy to be here. Thank you for joining us for another really unique, dynamic, and positive episode. And we're only right here on the Infinite Star Connections. We'll see you on July 3rd as we're traveling all the way to the other side of the planet with this wonderful lady, Sabine, live from Dubai. So join us there. Much love to both of you. You're both amazing. And we will see you soon.
I love
Namaste.
y'all.